One surprising effect has been a boom in the residential property market.
We were the first Colombian on the program.
224 with you, thank you. 224, 226.
There is that uncertainty of whether or not you can get a property.
Sold 228 to...
But myself, I didn't have any experience whatsoever. We had a builder that took the money and disappeared. I was born in Colombia.
In the most ecologically diverse country on earth, Colombia.
Since my young age, I was very curious about businesses. So I used to sell sweets in the school. I used to exchange goods with my friends. So basically I went to the uni. I studied business administration. The idea was always to learn things that in the future could use for my own business. I decided to be a property developer because this is something I always dream of. When I came to this country, I've noticed that the property market was very stable. Property, they were very expensive. Rental, they were over the moon. Interest rate is very low. So I thought it's like, if you could get involved in that business, there is real money that can be made. So then I met Valerie. She's a property investor. She received the rent of those properties. So I thought it's going to be a really good opportunity for us to find out exactly how the business works. But also she mentioned about auctions. All auctions, they got a bigger margin of profit, because usually there are properties that are in a really bad condition. It's very funny because I went myself. I was surrounded by probably 10 people interested in the property, but they were looking at the walls, they were looking at the level of the floor, they were looking at the roof. But myself, I didn't have any experience whatsoever. So whatever they were doing, I was doing the same. It's a massive risk in a sense that if something goes wrong, you have to give the deposit of the property and you can lose that deal, lose the money. So the programs that I really love, and I used to watch a lot, the first one was Dragon's Den, which I think this is like a worldwide program where people, they come with business ideas. And the second program that I used to watch a lot was the Home Search de Hama. Because it's a program that shows properties that they are in auctions, and mostly of the people, they are cash buyers. But I was very surprised how come someone who could start betting and increase their bets every 10, 20,000 pounds, and they could go up to £1 million. At the same time, it's very unlikely that you get a property that you want, because there is 100 people in the same room, and if someone is interested in the property, they could increase the value of the final price, and at the end of the day, you cannot buy it. We had a budget. We said for this property we could go up to a certain amount of money, and that was something that Valerie explained to us very clearly, because if that goes beyond the budget, the purchase is not going to work. It's not worth it. And at the same time, you have to be like really concentrated, and you cannot put your feelings on the bet. You could make a mistake and you could overbid. So when you go to an auction room, obviously there is that uncertainty of whether or not you can get a property. You hear that there is like a big communities. So for example, you could see like a lot of Jewish people that they work as a team, and they get the properties that they want. Also, it's like being big investors. They usually properties that they really like it, they wouldn't just take it. They wouldn't even let it go to the auction room. And then yes, the betting started.
222 sitting down. 224 elsewhere. 224 with you, thank you. 224, 226. 226, 228. 230. Please. I'm saying please. 228 with you. Anyone else? 228, first time, second time, third and last time. If you're done, sold 228 to husband, wife, and baby. Well done.
And then we bought the first property, and then it was extremely excited. It was amazing. Caro and myself, we couldn't believe it. When we went to the program the first time, the interviewer was very pleased to have a Colombian because we were the first Colombian on the program.
And if they look familiar, that's because Lucy met them on the show before when they bought their first property, also in Catford. Let's hear what they've been up to since, although I think the baby might be a clue.
Carolina and Jose, it's so lovely to see you again. How long has it been since we last met?
4 years?
4 years.
4 years since you bought your last auction property with me. So what have you been up to, guys?
We have been working with properties. This is our fourth, and learning a lot.
After we received the first property we put in auction, of course it was in a really bad condition. So we thought with my wife, we moved in because obviously we didn't have the budget to live somewhere else, plus paying mortgage on this property. So it was a very tough experience because it was a lot of dust. We had a builder that took the money and disappeared. So for us it was like a big learning. We said with my wife, is it really worth it to go through all of this, or is it just better to just buy something that is done and like just to try to have like an easy life?
Well, it looks like Jose and Carolina haven't been wasting their time. That former dingy and dated living room has been transformed into an ultra-modern open-plan kitchen diner.
At the end of the day, we managed to finish the property. We sold the property when the property market went up. So it was positive. The whole experience was positive. So before selling, we thought, what about we getting another project? So we sold this one, and with the profit that we made, we bought the second property. And then it was continuously. So we were just getting in one project, we were selling the house, and then we were moving forward. And since then, we've done basically roughly 10 projects.
And it is highly likely that we will see a growing number of UK cases. I've got to be clear, we've all got to be clear, this is the worst public health crisis for a generation.
I think with COVID, in this current market, I mean, even though we have a lot of uncertainty. We have a lot of uncertainty about what is going to happen. But right now, the property market is quite healthy.
One surprising effect has been a boom in the residential property market.
House prices haven't dipped in any sustained way since the 2008 crash, and some of the strongest growth in the last decade has been seen over the last 12 months, climbing over that time by 7.5%. The average UK house price is now worth £249,000.
I think COVID has made changes on the trend of what people is looking for. So, for example, a lot of people that used to live in the center of the cities, they decide to move out to the countryside, which it brings a lot of new opportunities for those developers. We have to try to track and to take those changes in pro of offering something that people will like. Some people that want to be involved in this business, they ask me what do they need to take into account to start. And I think something that is very important is basically have a good motivation, so always be motivated. Buying well, this is so important. You have to buy well. You have to buy, let's say, for example, if you could buy a deal that you could get 20 or 30% under the market price, it will give you that gap in case something goes wrong or let's say, for example, your costs increased. The third one is planning and budgeting. This is very important because some people, they don't budget every single cost, like you know exactly what is required. And finally, the fourth is to have a good market knowledge, because many developers, they made a mistake where they just start putting money on something that at the end of the day is not going to increase the value of the property. So many people wonder why I'm doing these sort of videos. I was called to give a conference about property market, and a lot of people ask me about how to buy the first property, how to invest in property market. And the same as it happened to me 13 years ago, when someone came over and explained to me and advised me what was the best route for me to proceed in this business, I wanted to do the same with the rest of the people. So I was very pleased to be able to respond to all those inquiries because sometimes information is quite difficult to access. So yes, that's my main objective. So I want to share with you guys if anyone has got any inquiry whatsoever, I have a good background of people, solicitors, brokers that they could assist me. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe so we can keep in touch with all the projects that we are currently having. And welcome to this journey on property development.